This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister to visit Italy to participate in the opening session of the International Symposium at the University of Bologna. Over 23 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in Sri Lanka thus far. The government confiscates over 1,000 metric tons of rice stocks in the possession of large-scale millers in the Polonnaruwa district. The Environment Minister says the Gazette prohibiting 7 more plastic products awaits AG's approval. Sri Lanka issuing a statement on COVID origin tracing says multilateralism and international cooperation provide the best possible means to defeat the pandemic. The UNP points out before the Parliamentary Select Committee the need for a general election system. The tourism chairperson defends request to relax guidelines for travellers. International news, China offers $31 million as emergency aid to Afghanistan. Sports tennis, India named 15-man squad for the upcoming T20 World Cup. Local news in detail. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piris will shortly make a visit to Bologna, Italy, to participate in an international event which is to be graced by the Prime Minister of Italy and other dignitaries from Italy and other European countries. The Foreign Minister at his media briefing described the purpose of the scheduled visit by stating the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka will be delivering the keynote address at the opening session of the International Symposium, which will be held in one of Europe's oldest seats of learning, the University of Bologna. The Foreign Minister stressed that at no stage has the Prime Minister requested nor has he received an audience with His Holiness the Pope. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister will be leaving Italy at the conclusion of events in Bologna. The expeditious vaccination drive conducted by Sri Lanka health authorities continue today at 399 vaccination centres around the country. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 23,123,345 vaccine doses have been administered in the country thus far. 429,099 individuals were administered vaccine doses against the coronavirus yesterday. 9,070 individuals were administered the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 385 persons received the second dose. Meanwhile, 139,982 persons were administered the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine, while 255,986 individuals were administered the second Sinopharm dose. 18,728 individuals also received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, while 392 individuals received the second Pfizer dose. Furthermore, 315 persons were given the first jab of the Moderna vaccine, while 4,241 received the second jab. 9,994,589 individuals have been fully vaccinated in Sri Lanka thus far. For more information on your nearest vaccination centre and the type of vaccines administered in those centres can be obtained by visiting the website health.gov.lk. The government has confiscated over 1,000 metric tons of stocks of rice in the possession of large-scale millers in the Polonnaruwa district. Accordingly, the rice stocks stored at Nipuna, Latpandura, Araliya, Hiru, New Ratna and Surya rice mills were confiscated under the direct supervision of the Commissioner General of Essential Services, Major General Senarath Nyunhella, and the Chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority. The Office of the Commissioner General of Essential Services said in a statement, the transportation to the Sadosa outlets commenced at the same time with the acquisition of unreleased stocks of rice and the possession of all large-scale rice mills in the Polonnaruwa area at government-controlled prices. Sri Lanka, issuing a statement on COVID origin tracing, stated that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused severe disruptions to the health, safety and livelihoods of people around the world. Therefore, multilateralism and international cooperation provide the best possible means to effectively and sustainably defeat the pandemic. The statement continued, noting that it is equally important to conduct a comprehensive, inclusive and an impartial study on the origin of the virus. Furthermore, Sri Lanka acknowledged the leading role played by the World Health Organization in this regard and the contents of the joint report of the WHO convened global study released in March 2021. Sri Lanka reiterated that the study on the origin tracing of SARS-CoV-2 should be based on scientific and evidence-based methods and should not be politicized. The United National Party, testifying before the Select Committee of the Parliament to identify appropriate reforms of the election laws and the electoral system, pointed out that a general election system should be introduced for the Parliament, provincial councils and local government institutions. Further, the UNP proposed that 65% of the members should be elected under the divisional system and 25% under the proportional representation system. They also suggested that the number of members selected to local government bodies should be reduced by reducing the number of divisions. The committee chairman, Honourable Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, stated that the general opinion is that the country needs a better mixed electoral system. He also pointed out the need to have a member of parliament responsible for a division. The next meeting of the Parliamentary Select Committee is scheduled to be held on the 13th of September. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
Sri Lanka Tourism Chairperson Kimali Fernando has defended a decision to seek further relaxation of COVID guidelines for travellers. In a letter sent to the Director General of Health, Asela Gunawardena, the chairperson of Sri Lanka Tourism requested to remove the requirement of PCR tests 72 hours before boarding the flight for fully vaccinated passengers. She also said that the global health pandemic should not be politicized and that Sri Lanka's successful vaccination program and gradual changes made to protocols in line with global best practices will support the economy through December winter bookings. Fernando sent the letter from Russia, where she is on a visit to promote Sri Lanka for Russian tourists. The government says Sri Lanka is to enact laws against anti-personnel mines. An agreement was reached at the International Diplomatic Conference on the prohibition of anti-personnel mines in Oslo on September 18, 1997 to ban the use, stockpiling, manufacture and delivery of anti-personnel mines and to destroy them. Sri Lanka agreed to the convention on 13th December 2017. The Sri Lankan government is obliged to enact relevant laws for this purpose. The Attorney General's clearance has been received for the bill prepared by the legal draftsman for this purpose. The Cabinet of Ministers approved a proposal presented by the Minister of Justice to publish the said bill in the Government Gazette and thereafter submit it to the Parliament for approval. The government of Sri Lanka has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Switzerland on the implementation of programs to protect, promote and ensure the rights of Sri Lankan migrant workers and their families in Sri Lanka. The State Minister of Foreign Employment Promotion and Market Diversification, Priyanka Rajaratne, and Raoul Imbok, head of the Swiss Embassy in Sri Lanka, signed the agreement at the State Ministry earlier this week. According to the MOU, a grant of 4.65 million Swiss francs will be provided to Sri Lanka for the implementation of this project. The relevant project will be implemented until August 2024. 637 individuals have been arrested during the past 24 hours that ended at 6 this morning on charges of violating quarantine regulations. Police said 41 vehicles were also seized yesterday. Moreover, 67,979 individuals have been arrested since the 30th of October last year pertaining to violating quarantine regulations. Meanwhile, police had inspected 1,895 individuals travelling in 1,085 vehicles yesterday at 13 roadblocks set up at entry and exit points to the Western Province. That ends local news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Taken to issue the relevant Gazette notification as soon as the recommendation from the Attorney General's Department is received for prescribing 7 more disposable plastic products manufactured in the country. Earlier, the manufacturing of 5 single-use polythene and plastic products had been banned on March 31st. Cabinet approval was also granted to ban another 7 single-use plastic and polythene products, and the related Gazette notification will be released soon after the AG Department recommendation. And that was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight.
In Watchlight, gynecologist Dr. Harsha Atapattu says the Delta variant poses a serious threat to pregnant women and their unborn children. As a result, he urged couples looking to have children to delay pregnancy by at least 1 year. Dr. Atapattu said earlier the coronavirus did not pose a serious threat to women and children. However, he said with the Delta variant, the situation has changed. Therefore, he urged couples to consider family planning during this period and take precautions. And that was Watchlight.
World News.
In the headlines, China offers $31 million in emergency aid to Afghanistan. The US and allies agree to join efforts on Afghanistan. ECOWAS suspends Guinea after the coup. World news in detail. China has pledged $31 million worth of aid to Afghanistan, including food supplies and coronavirus vaccines. The aid comes as Beijing said it was ready to maintain communications with the Taliban government. It added that the establishment of the new interim government was a necessary step to restore order in Afghanistan. The Taliban's interim cabinet was announced last week, with the country declared an Islamic emirate. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced the aid measures for Afghanistan with counterparts from several Afghanistan neighbors. He called on these countries to cooperate in helping Afghanistan, adding that China would also provide 3 million vaccine doses to the country. The United States and its allies and partners have affirmed joint efforts to ensure freedom of movement and protection of women's rights in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas co-hosted an online meeting on Afghanistan on Wednesday. Foreign ministers and other officials from 22 countries, the European Union, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the United Nations took part. Blinken and Maas later held a joint news conference at a U.S. airbase in Germany. West Africa's main regional bloc has suspended Guinea's membership days after a military coup that removed President Alpha Conde. During an extraordinary virtual summit on Wednesday, leaders from the Economic Community of West African States demanded a return to the constitutional order and the immediate release of Conde. The ECOWAS leaders also agreed to send a high-level mission to Guinea as early as today. Back to the headlines of the world news. China offers $31 million in emergency aid to Afghanistan. The US and allies agreed to join efforts on Afghanistan. ECOWAS suspends Guinea after the coup. And that ends world news. In development news, the Sri Lankan embassy in Beijing says the chairman of Sinopharm Group, Lu Xingzhan, has expressed his enthusiasm in setting up a vaccine refilling plant in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan ambassador Dr. Palitha Kohona said the chairman of Sinopharm Group expressed that the group will continue to collaborate with Sri Lanka and supply vaccines. Furthermore, the ambassador added that Lu Xingzhan was enthusiastic about setting up a vaccine refilling plant in Sri Lanka to take advantage of Sri Lanka's favorable trade access in the region and beyond. And that was development news. In sports news, India has named a 15-man squad for the upcoming T20 World Cup in the UAE and Oman. Virat Kohli will lead the side with Rohit Sharma as his vice-captain. Spinner Ravichandran Ashwin is included for his first international T20 call-up in 4 years, despite not playing in any of India's tests against England so far this summer. The former India captain MS Dhoni will act as the team's mentor for the tournament. India's first game is against Pakistan on 24th of October. And that was sports news.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SLT Mobitel, the national ICT, telecommunications and mobile services provider, presents a platform to access distance education through its flagship Internet Protocol television service, POTV. Children are able to access POTV directly through SLT Mobitel home broadband or mobile broadband connection via POTV Go. The revolutionary services that SLT Mobitel POTV has launched include Vidasa, comprising 6 TV channels covering grade 6 to 11. The Education on Demand initiatives facilitates hassle-free learning from the comfort of students' homes. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news. Courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka had requested licensed commercial banks and licensed specialized banks to consider extending the concessions granted to borrowers affected by COVID-19 up to 31st of December 2021, considering new surge in the pandemic and the resultant difficulties to the borrowers. Licensed banks have also been requested to offer additional concessions to affected borrowers at their request in a way that the overall benefits to the borrowers are not less than those specified by CBSL. These new concessions are expected to provide an opportunity for affected borrowers to make arrangements to repay their dues regularly commencing January 2022.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report. The Meteorological Department forecasts several spells of showers to occur in the Sabaragamuwa, Western and Northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Batiklo and Ampara district, particularly in the evening or at night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. And to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The Prime Minister to visit Italy to participate in the opening session of the International Symposium at the University of Bologna. Over 23 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in Sri Lanka thus far. The government confiscates over 1,000 metric tons of rice stocks in the possession of large-scale millers in the Polonnaru district. The Environment Minister says the Gazette prohibiting 7 more plastic products awaits AG's approval. Sri Lanka issuing a statement on COVID origin tracing says multilateralism and international cooperation provide the best possible means to defeat the pandemic. The UNP points out before the Parliamentary Select Committee the need for a general election system. The tourism chairperson defends request to relax guidelines for travellers. International news, China offers $31 million as emergency aid to Afghanistan. Sports, India named 15-man squad for the upcoming T20 World Cup. And with that, we end this news broadcast.